Hello my lovelies, welcome to my floss tube. I'm Tan, the monogamous cross stitcher, and here we are. So I wasn't planning on doing I was planning on doing a floss tube before Christmas, but I never quite got round to it, and then I decided, right, I've got the strength today, let's get it done. So I'm filming downstairs in front of the Christmas tree, whereas usually I film upstairs. Got my little antlers on. I am a bit chilly today, so you'll have to excuse me. I have got my hoodie on, so I'm keeping warm. I don't actually have a lot to share. I have a new start, which is my current active whip. I have my nearly finished. It's about nearly 10% off finished, nearly. I have an update on my temperature cell, which should be finished this month, which is exciting. What else do I have? I have a little bit of haul. And that's it really. I've finally read some books, so I'll tell you all about those. Films and TV. I don't think I've watched anything new. I'll let you know when we get to that. So yeah, some little bits and pieces to tell you about, not a lot. So shall we get into it? I hope you're all doing well. I've just finished work. I finished work 2 weeks on Monday. My first time working in Scotland. It was brilliant. The client was really nice, so that's very helpful. And then I went and had an explore around Inverness. I went to Loch Ness. No, I didn't see Nessie. Yeah, so I'll tell you all about that later, and I will also pop some pictures up at the end. And that's pretty much it. Hello, Bailey. The only problem filming downstairs, I'll always have a cat with me. Yes. Right, come on then. Come and show them your very cute bow tie. Yay, look at his cute little bow tie. So, my cat's got a lot of dietary type problems now. So, he can't have his usual Christmas dinner, which I normally give him an expensive can of Sheba. So, instead this year they've both got very cute Christmas bow ties. And you can't buy one without the other, so Bailey's got one and Oscar's got one. He may be over at some point. He will jump on my floss tube at some point and introduce himself, but we shall see. Anyway, let's get into it. Going to start with whips. So, I was stitching on this continuously. Forgot to take my extra threads to work, so I ordered some from Rachel. Didn't order enough, ran out. So yeah, I had to stop. But luckily, and I'd already caught up with my temperature cell, so luckily I had my new start with me, but I'll come to that in a bit. So this is a Halloween Quaker, and this is as far as I've got. So I'd ran out of black and 3371, so I hadn't been able to do a lot of this side because it was all black mixed with another colour or 3371. But I have managed to actually get a good chunk of this done since I've been home. I think I've nearly done 10% of it while I've been home, so that's pretty good. So I managed to, this is what it looked like before. Okay, and so you can see I've moved along. I've finished the cats, I've finished the skeletons, I've done the boots, finished this here and done all this here, and then I've done this motif up here. So I've done a fair whack, to be fair. Pretty happy with the progress on this. So I am stitching this on a 28 count fabric blue mottled fabric from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics, 2/2. That's right, yeah, 2/2. I've used a mix of CXC, Dinky Dyes and paint box threads. So it's a mix of silks. I didn't so much use the called for colours, but I matched the orange to the orange, yellow to the yellow, etc, etc. So that's it so far, and I'm loving the look of that. I did actually take a picture of it before I popped it back on the nudge frame. It is on my Instagram, but I will pop a picture of it here. So this is what it looked like before I put it back on this frame. There we go. So that's the one I'm working on, excuse me, continuously until I finish. Oh, forgot to show you. So I decided to bead this. I decided to bead the eyes with glow in the dark beads. I've placed my very first 2 beads ever. I'm pretty chuffed with that. So that was part of my haul, so I'll show you those shortly. Okay then, the next whip, I'll show you my temperature chart first actually. So I'm after a fancy board or something that I can put behind these, because they're very difficult to show when you don't have anything. So this is now my temperature cell. Very, very, very nearly finished. As you can see, I've only got that bit along the bottom to do. I think that's right. Yes, bit along the bottom and then up this side here. And this is on 28 count fabric from Coffee Crafts Fabrics, Megan. And I'm doing it 2/2. And I love that. No backstitch, makes me very happy. And this is how it looked like before. There we go. So that's how far I've got on that one. I will finish that this week, I think. No? I'll finish that by the 1st of January. Yeah, so that's, and then I'll be starting another temperature cell, but we'll come on to future plans later. My new start, and this will be one of my active whip once I finish Halloween Quaker, so I'll put it down for the minute, is the Modern Folk Embroidery Cell 2024. Yes, I'm very eager because I wanted to stitch this, and I don't want to do it as part of a cell. I want to just stitch and do. So that's as far as I got. So I brought the fabric. I think I showed it in a previous video from a lady at a Stitchy Day. It's a 28 count blue linen fabric. Not sure where it came from. And the colours I'm using is 3799 and a special dyed thread from the Stitchy Squirrel in my favourite colours, blue, green and purple. This will look completely different to a lot of others that are doing it. They're going for the more colour choices that were given as examples, but I like to be different. So that's what I'm going for. And this is stitched 2/2 CXC thread. And the special thread from the Stitchy Squirrel. But yes, I'm very much enjoying that. It's looking very pretty. So once I finish my Halloween Quaker, I will come back and continue on with that one. So that's as far as I've got with that one. So that's basically whips, new starts. Going forward, because I've only got a haul left to show you, actually, it's not going to be a very long video today. Plans going forward, I have a few new starts to do next year. It's stressing me out no end, I'm telling you, but they're like sell types, so I can pick them up and catch up over so many days and then go back to my main active whip. So my plans going forward into 2024 are, I'm going to hopefully finish my Halloween Quaker by, I'm saying by Christmas, that's not going to happen now because it's Christmas in 3 days. This is 22nd today, so I do plan to get that finished by the new year, shall we say. And then I plan to go back to my modern folk embroidery, and that will be my main piece that I stitch on. I am taking part in a couple of things next year, so I am going to be doing a round robin with some of my friends, Jess, Rosie and Rachel. We're doing a ink circles, so I've chosen mine, but when we go to the February retreat, we are going to be choosing our fabric and threads while we're there. So I'm thinking of picking a nice, pretty, variegated thread and going from there. So yeah, I think I've got my heart set on the one I've chosen. So far, the winning one is this one, but I could very well change my mind by then. We're also planning a new start at the February retreat as well. So the round robin one won't be taking place until, I think it was going to be March or April. I'm not quite sure now. Then we're going to do a new start at the February retreat. Yeah. And I think, and I'll be starting a new temperature cell, potion bottle cell, which I will be doing with my friend Jenny. There is quite a few other people doing it as well, as I was part of a Zoom group, so I think they're all doing it as well. I think that's basically it, really. That's all my plans for next year so far. I think, yeah. Round robin, temperature cell, new start in February. Yeah. I do want to start my full coverage as well, because I'm really starting to miss my full coverage, because that's all I used to stitch until I started to attend the retreats this year, and then I saw that there was an old wide range of things that weren't just stuff with backstitch, so I kind of found other stuff which got me quite excited. So I have obviously brought a few patterns, and mostly Halloween, because I really want to do a Halloween shelf like I've mentioned before, so I'm quite excited about all that. So yeah, when I never really fancy doing a new little start, but I do want to do these patterns. So yes, those are my plans. Oh, I forgot one of my absolute big main plans as well. What an idiot. So I've decided I want to do the 12 monthly Quakers. I saw these when I was scouting through Etsy, like we do, and loved them. So I asked for 4 of them so far for Christmas. So my mum's already brought me the January one, and I think my partner Rich has got me 3 of them as well. He wasn't very happy that he's sending me PDFs for Christmas, and I was like, but it's what I want. It makes me happy. It's something that I will stitch and I will enjoy, and then I will display. And he said, okay, as long as you're happy without having a physical present. I was like, yes, I'm very happy with that. So so I've got those 4 to start me off. I've also asked for some sparkly 28 count even weave, I think it is, which I will do December, January and February on, and then the rest will be on normal even weave, because I think those months being winter, it's nice that they'll be sparkly. So that's another present that Rich is getting me for Christmas. I hope. It was on the list. If not, I'll get it myself. So yes, I plan to start the January Quaker basically as soon as I get it from, basically as soon as I get all my fabric and my threads and stuff. I have asked my mum to get me the threads for Christmas, so she's got me all those. So yeah, that will be another new start in the new year. But what I'll probably do is take a brief break from my modern folk embroidery, get that Quaker finished, and then go straight back to that until I need to do something else. So that'll be my main focus piece, and then I'll fit other things in and finish them and then go back to that. So that's my plan, because I do want to try and stay as monogamous as I can, because new starts do stress me out. Having lots of whips does stress me out. I can't cope with it. So this is why I am monogamous. And people always say, but you're not though, you've got whips. And I'm like, yes, but I can't work on various whips. I can only work on one at a time. I feel like I'm explaining this quite often. People are not getting it. And it's like, I know what I mean. I know what I'm doing. You just don't interfere. Leave me alone. So I basically only stitch on one piece at a time until it's finished. And if I've got a little piece thrown in, like the round robin or the monthly Quaker, then I'll do that, finish that, and then go back to my main piece, because my main piece is normally a big piece. So yeah, that's the way I work. That's the way I'm happy to work. And that's that. Anyway, haul. I don't actually have a lot of haul. Before we start, I'm just going to have a quick drink of my coffee. How pretty does my tree look with all the presents? Now, none of those presents are mine. How fun. So, I was going to have a drink of my coffee, but then, yeah. So basically, I asked for money for Christmas for the retreats next year, so I can buy stuff I want from the retreats, because when I've gone to the retreats this year, I found I'm starting to collect fabric. I'm happy to collect fabric, and then if I see a pattern I like, then I've got the fabric already. I tend to be like, oh, I like that pattern, I've got some fabric that will be perfect for that. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So that was the plan, is to have Christmas money. I did end up actually using some of my birthday money to buy something, which I will show you in my haul. I did end up using some of the Christmas money from my mum to buy my classic colour works for my monthly Quakers, and Rich won't give me money. He's like, no, you have to have presents to open. So he will give me a little bit of money if I say, okay, can I have this, this and this and some money, then he will. But he prefers me to have stuff to open. So I just ask for money from everyone else instead. So right, on the haul, I ordered a 123 stitch because I ran out of dinky dies to do my enchanted Quaker. Unfortunately, it didn't come in time, but luckily my friend Sarah saved me and I managed to finish that. I showed you my finish in the last video. But because we don't want that one thing to be lonely, we always order a couple of extra things, don't we? So I took this as an opportunity to get the beads I needed, because I don't think anyone's ever beaded their Halloween Quaker before, and I've added glow-in-the-dark thread to it, and I thought I'd add some glow-in-the-dark beads. So I have brought these. Oh. So the lovely glow-in-the-dark beads. There we go. Don't know if you can see, that was okay. There we go. So that's what I've got for my Halloween Quaker. I also, fallen on the floor, that's Bailey that is playing up. I also ordered this chart because I saw it and I really liked it, and I thought, well, it's Halloween, it'll go on my Halloween shelf. So that's what I got. Very cute, I do like that. I'm not a fan of paper patterns, but I think with these you can sort of not go wrong, whereas with a full coverage paper pattern, it's very much hard work. I did my first full coverage on a paper pattern and man, was that was challenging, but I did it. So that's all I've got from 1 2 3 stitch, and of course the dinky die, which I didn't, no point showing you now because I don't need it, but at least it's there for the future in case I want to do anything else in dinky die. Speaking of dinky dies, I had an email yesterday from Lakeside saying that the colour I was after was back in stock. And it's a bit late because I've already ordered a batch from 1 2 3 stitch, and then Sarah saved me with some more. So yeah, that was a bit late. And plus I finished my Enchanted Quaker back in November. Yeah, never mind. So I'm starting the Potion Bottle sale, and I did have some fabric for it. It was the 20 count Ada from Megan. Picked it up, loved it, brought it, tried stitching on it, hated it. Tried doing it, my temperature cell that I'm currently doing on it, hated it. And it was too, 1/1 was too small, 2/2 was too big. So I gave that to Jess and thought, right, I'll just get some nice grey fabric, because I'm finding that I'm very keen on, I love bright colours in real life, but to stitch on I prefer lighter colours. There is some dark bits on my temperature fabric that I've really struggled to see, even with the daylight light on. Really struggled to see, so I don't think I'd stitch on dark fabrics at all by choice. So I'll always stick to lighter fabrics. So I was scouting on Etsy, and I didn't want to pay expensive really. I just wanted to get some just nice grey fabric. So I found this 28 count. Drop the label on the floor. Sorry. Yes, 28 count even weave, and it's just a grey, just grey. It's like a light grey. I mean, it's coming up soon. I do have the light on because the light's not the best down here, but I wanted to film in front of the tree. So, and it's quite a big piece. It's going to be big, but this is one I do need to start very soon because the shelves. I know Jen has already started hers, so I do need to start this very soon-ish. It's just having all these whips on the go really stresses me out. But, you know, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. We shall do it. We shall do it. And I think, oh no, one more thing. So I brought I started going to the retreats started in February, and quite a few people who I met there have been going to these retreats for a long time, and they sort of know how to set up, how to be comfortable. It's taken me a year and 3 retreats and 3 stitchy days to realise that stitching in hand is the most comfortable way for me. Now, my friend Rosie, before we went to the November retreat, was saying how she didn't want to keep hauling around her Lowry because she can only stitch on a stand. And she says that she's very tempted by Sophie's Nerge stand, but you can get them for under your leg or on the table. And I thought, well, give it a try and see what you think. So she brought it and she absolutely loves it. She says she favours it more now over her Lowry because she can sit really comfortable with it. So I decided to buy a stand that went under my leg, and for work it worked perfectly. You can twist it from side to side, not over. It worked brilliant, it was great, but it could be quite challenging in bed, and that is mostly where I stitch at night. I retire up to bed and I watch my programmes in bed and stitch in bed, so I found it quite uncomfortable in bed. But I thought I'll keep it aside and it's there just in case. Well, I decided when I got my birthday money that I was going to try one of these Nerge. So I got one. As you can see, it packs up quite small. It's heavy. Now, I have stitched with this literally just resting on my lap with it out. So I've tightened all these up because it was in my suitcase. Let's see if I can. Yep, so it just lengthens out like that, and you just have it as you need to stitch, and it's brilliant. It really is brilliant. I know Sophie's got the floor one, and me and Rosie have just got the table one, and it's solid. It's heavy enough that it can just rest on your lap. It's great, and I'm loving it. Actually, I'm really loving it. So I might sell my other one at the next retreat or stitchy day, or see if anyone on any of the groups wants it. It is great if you're sitting with it under your leg. It's not great in bed. I've tried using it on the table and it's not great, so I'm going to get rid of that one. But this one is brilliant. I think it was just under £50 on Amazon, I think, but it's definitely worth it. I do have a Lowry as well, but I'm unable to get to that at the moment. So, and if ever I can't be bothered to put it on the stand, I've learned how to stitch two-handed with it in my hand. Yeah, I've figured out the way. So that's pretty much all of my haul. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to report. I'll tell you a bit about Scotland now. So if you're not interested in hearing about my Scotland trip, books, TV or films, then thank you very much for coming. I hope you have the most wonderful Christmas and New Year. I will be back with a new floss tube in the new year. So take care of yourselves, drink plenty and be merry, and I will see you next year. Bye. Welcome back, or thanks for staying. Basically, Scotland was great. I was absolutely chuffed to bits when the client ended up being really nice, which is always such a bonus when the client's nice. The 2 weeks absolutely flew by. I mean, I blinked and it was gone. I was like, whoa, I'm going to the Airbnb tomorrow. So I decided to stay in an Airbnb in Inverness, because once I told everyone I was going to Scotland, everyone was like, oh my God, you need to explore, you need to explore. I was like, yes, I'm going to explore, don't worry. So I basically stayed in a lovely Airbnb in Inverness, and I decided to go to Loch Ness. I was gonna just get a taxi up there, I've wandered around, get some photos, get a taxi back, until I noticed that they do tours. And I was like, oh, it'll probably work out cheaper to do a tour, and then you can learn a bit about the history of Scotland and the area. So I did that. Just a quick drink. So went on the tour, found out a lot of interesting facts. There's a lot of quartz and garnet around Loch Ness in the rocks, which is really quite cool. Got some very nice pictures. Unfortunately, I booked on the morning tour, because the plan was to go to Loch Ness in the morning and then explore Inverness in the afternoon. Unfortunately though, due to limited people, well, it's December, I'm not surprised, the tour was moved later, so I went in the afternoon. We went to the castle. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. I think it was Apricot Castle, which was beautiful ruins. Obviously it was starting to get quite dark, so on the way back, normally she'd drive us around the Highlands, and that's probably when I would have seen some Highland cows, but it was dark, so we just took the normal A road back. But it was a really good tour, really enjoyed it. I didn't see Nessie, unfortunately, but I did go on a boat along Loch Ness, and I saw some nice bits and pieces. So I will pop a little video at the end of Loch Ness that I took on the boat, and some videos of around the castle and things as well. But yes, it was great, and I'm back home now and I'm enjoying being home, so that's fabulous. Right, TV, books and films. What have I been reading this time? I finished my book club pick, which was Body Language, which was this one. I really enjoyed this one. Quite a few of the girls didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it, even though it was based around a morgue and basically dead people. I found it quite a comfort read. I think it's because the story sort of flowed really nicely, and I just really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. So it's about this girl called Cassie, and she works in the morgue as a morgue technician, and she I think she does the autopsies basically, and she has someone she knows come into the morgue, and she sort of talks to the dead in a sense. And she said to Cassie, this woman she knew, that it wasn't her time. So she wanted to figure out if she'd been murdered, because it looked like it was an accidental death. And she basically investigates with this policewoman, and they find out the truth. But I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to ruin it, but it was a very good book. I've really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend that to anyone who's into thrillers and crimes and stuff. So that was good. The other books I've been reading is the Dark Material books, is Dark Materials, because I absolutely love that series. You remember me telling you that my friend recommended it to me at the summer retreat, and I watched the entire series, and someone says they were based off the book, so I was like, oh. So I finally got round to reading those. So I've read the Northern Lights and the Subtle Knife so far. Loved both of those. Oh, there was some bits that were left out of the series, but in my personal opinion, I don't think it was needed anyway. But I did really enjoy those two books so far. So I've still got the third one to read. I do want to finish that, and I want to finish my current book before New Year, because then I would have reached my 50 books this year, which is a damn achievement to say. I only started reading properly again in January, so that's quite good. So I'm currently reading The One by John Mars, who I actually met at the Christmas book party. I don't think I've spoken about that because it happened before I went to Scotland. Yeah, that's right, because I think I was told you I was going, but I never actually shared. So that was great. I saw Mark Billingham and I properly fangirled. I was like, oh, Mark Billingham, my God. So I managed to get 4 books signed by Mark Billingham, and then 3 one by John Mars and Harriet Frice, and who was the other lady? Oh, there was another lady, I can't remember. Fiona Cummins, that's right. So I'll show you those at the end as well, picture of those at the end as well. So that was really cool. That was really cool. I was it was weird because I go to retreats and I feel like I can approach and talk to anyone. No one scares me in the cross-stitch community as of yet. But going to that book party, it was so weird. I didn't feel like I could just get up and talk to anyone. I felt completely like, oh my God, I'm going to sit here and not move all night because I don't know what the hell to do here. It was such a strange experience, really strange experience. I'm debating whether to go next year though, unfortunately, because it falls on the Saturday before my partner's mum's birthday. So I might not be able to go to that one, which is it's a bit gutting really, because it's a Halloween book party and I do love Halloween, and yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get to that one, but we shall see. We shall see. But yes, so book party was amazing. TV, I've only been really watching The Mentalist, which I mentioned in the last Flosstube, I think. I'm nearly at the end of season 6 now, so there's only season 7 to go, and then I've finished with that. Oh, I did start watching actually a couple of days ago, was the Doll Factory. I actually read that book as part of a book club book. Very dark book, and the TV series is very much the same, very dark. I can't remember a lot about the book because we read it back in August, I think it was, possibly July, I can't remember. So I'm not sure if the TV series is true to the book at the moment, but so far it's pretty good, Films, I haven't watched any new films. The only films that I've watched are the rest of the Saw series. So we have watched Saw, I think, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, or is it 6, 7, 8 and 9? But we've only got 10 to watch. But we're not going to watch that for a while because we've not long watched 10 in the cinema. So those are the only films I've watched really. I'm not used to wearing headbands. digging in the back of my ears. So those are the only films I've really watched, actually. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much everything to tell you about, actually. Not a lot to say film wise. Book wise, I do want to try, and I went through a bit of a slump, as you know, through October and November. So I do want to try and at least read 4 a month next year. I was up to 6, which I find it quite easy with audio books, especially when you're stitching. You can just leave them playing, and when people say, how do you read audio books? I was like, it's easy, it's just basically TV with no picture. Which it is, really, it is. So yeah, I think that's basically everything. Short one today, not a lot to tell you about. I'll probably think of stuff I should have told you about when I end this video, but then I'll tell you in the next one. If it's important, I'll remember. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas and New Year. I will see you in the new year. I hope you all drink and be merry and eat lots of food, and wish you hadn't eaten all that food, because that's what Christmas is always about. Is it me, or Christmas dinner is exactly the same as every other Sunday, yet you feel more stuffed? Is it me? Why is that? I don't know. Anyway, take care, everyone. Look after yourselves, and I will see you next year. Bye.